And there we go. All right, hold on. Hello and everybody. Hello and good morning, everybody. How we doing? How do you clean a hat, by the way? My Picket hat is so fucking dirty, and I don't really even understand why it's that dirty. It's not like I went to freaking Burning Man with it. I don't know that I fully understand why my Picket hat is so dirty. But anyways, what's up? Good morning. Maybe I'll just go with the non-gelled flow today. How we doing? We are on TikTok Live. Nobody's in here. That's all right. Get fucked. What's up, everyone? I got to tell you, I've never been more sleep deprived in my entire life. I can't even fucking see straight. I've already told you, but my dog is waking up it was hour and a half to 2 hours and shitting and pissing. The last night he woke up like every hour. It was pretty brutal. It was probably the worst night out of the last 2 weeks. I want to say he woke up, and I didn't go to bed till like midnight because, long story short, my fucking fantasy football league, great dudes, but they're just a bunch of morons. They went from auction for 20 years to snake back to auction. So we had to do an emergency redraft last night, which we did. So I was up till about midnight. Then I woke up at 1, 2:30, 3:30, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, for my dog going out and shitting. And I'm talking explosive diarrhea. This motherfucker can wake up the entire neighborhood. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Anyways, TMI. What's up? Good morning, everybody. Aloha Bets with a sub bang. Only 1 year, Aloha. I feel like you've been around for a really long time, but you're a big supporter. I appreciate it. I know you're rocking the D-Gen sweater, which, by the way, I got an idea for some shirts we're going to get. I'm going to get a designer working on, but I'm not going to, actually, I'll tell you what, it is not a secret. I was thinking of a shirt idea. Well, I might not be able to say it on TikTok Live because then I'll get in trouble, but I'll tell you tomorrow. I think they're going to be pretty cool. If you don't want them, that's fine. I'm going to try to make them a little bit cheaper too, but I really like comfort colors. I like good quality shit. I'm a little bit older. I know if you're fucking young buck and you want to get some merch, you want to pay $15, but I hate when you pay $15 for something, you get it, and it's like that Gildan shit, like the worst possible quality or brand of t-shirt. Not really my thing. Anyways, what's up? We got some sub banks coming in nice and early. We got a hype train. We got 70 people on Twitch. This place is flooding with people eager to talk and wager on some football. I love it. You love it. We love it. Let's get into it. Make an Unk shirt. Not a bad idea, I know, but those are too specific. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's really going to buy that. I think this is a cool idea, but again, I don't know if I can talk about it here on TikTok. So anyways, what's wrong with Gildan? I mean, I don't know. Maybe they have good quality, but just in my opinion, in my very limited experience with the merch game, I think Gildan is the cheapest option for t-shirts. 36 months and 31 months W. Is that the case? Look at that. Blaine 83, 36 months. NFL is back. Let's go. Okay, I got to be honest with you. As excited as I am for football to be back, I can't lie to you. I'm not like chomping at the bit to wager on this Eagles Cowboys game, but I'm looking forward to talking about it. I'm curious to hear if you guys have any angles or any thoughts. I mean, I tweeted this a little bit earlier. I certainly think that Joe Brady, what the fuck is this banner going around? Hold on. I got to see. I just realized what this banner is. Oh, I got the wrong one clicked. How funny is that? Promo code DGen for SeatGeek. If you're going to any of these games, $20 off your first purchase. Look at that. Guy in the cornfields coming in here and delivering some sub banks. Guy in the cornfields. Listen, I know you like to give me and others a lot of shit, which is fine. I appreciate it. I like you going out there and fucking sinking your claws in to the other people out there. As long as, I'm not your enemy and I'm not in your crosshairs, but appreciate the 5 sub banks. Tiny, Cisco Masm, Cool Hand Fluke, JJ Miles, Tura Vintage, W Cornfields. Corn retweeted his ticket on Will Shipley, by the way, which I loved. I love to see that. Ali Raza Kokar invites you to host with 2 others. No, thanks though. If I would have done that shit, to be honest, Cornfields, if I would have retweeted a ticket of mine, my best hit from last season, you would have made so much fun of me. Straight up. You would have. Look at that. Stakes got 5 coming in. Let's go. Sports guy Evan, Joshy boy from Tennessee, Tony Gu, Or maybe it's Go, a long-winded Go. I don't know. Skin Souls and Gotman. I like that. I like Gotman. Gotman with sub bangs. We appreciate you guys. Thank you, Steak. Steak, the vibes are high. Steak is over there in Philly. So far, he's off to a really, really hot start. I was like, yo, Steak, make sure, not that I have to tell him, but I was like, make sure you get some good Philly content. What does this guy do? His first 2 fucking posts? Oh, Steak's Philly content. Let's see. Espresso martini and a selfie with a Surfside vodka iced tea. Yeah. That's how we're gonna build our empire. That's how we're gonna build our empire. I got fucking Steak going out there showing the world, hey, look at me. I drink espresso martinis or martinis and Surfsides and take selfies doing it. That's okay, though. We love him for who he is. Jet Broseph coming in with 5 sub bangs. Look at that. Look at that. 5 subs. We got a hype train level 5. The vibes are very high, aren't they? These are the highest vibes I've seen in a very long time. Gambling State U. Hutch bets. You son of a bitch. Wow, we got, oh my goodness gracious. What even is, you drive a city bike? First of all, that's not driving, that's riding. Thank you very much. And I'd like to see you come to New York City and survive one fucking day taking public transit or driving an actual vehicle and sitting in traffic. All right. So don't knock the city bike until you try it. Appreciate that. W Steak, holy chit chats, pluging. Yep, you definitely drive it. Whatever you want to say, that actually might be a compliment. Jet Broseph, we appreciate you. Peter Pusher, Nookie Bars. I'm Dwarf Noah, RIP. RIP Dwarf Noah, in all seriousness, RIP. Red Choice, Still Dragon Thy. I don't even know if I can say that again on TikTok Live. Degen popping up on my FYP. Let's go. What's up, Stephen Gordon? How you doing? I don't even know really what that means, but I think it's a good thing. Okay. Straight up. What's up, Matt? How we doing? Dwarf man. Yeah. Much love, right? Try to support you on Twitter, but got no love. What are you talking about? Try to support you on Twitter. What does that mean, Kevin? What does that mean? You got no love? You got no love from me, or you got no love from the other people? Either way, I appreciate you. Money Plays Degen, and it's for you page. Oh, got you. Yep. Look at that. Logan Carlson coming in with a sub bang. Hutch bets. Gambling State U. Gambling State U says, been a minute, man. Hope all is well. Full life upgrade since the last time I've been in here. New career. Started my own business. Not married yet, but I assume that's next. LOL, and football is back. Love that. By the way, the punctuation and the grammar execution on your whatever you just wrote in your subscription, I think a lot of people can take a lesson out of that. All right, at least put a little effort into it. Okay, put a little effort into it. I love that. Thank you very much. And W's, congrats on starting the new business. Good luck. Good luck. Being a business owner is it's got its pros and cons. Everything's got its pros and cons. You know what I mean? But good luck to you, man. We wish you the best. And again, as we get into football season, I remind everybody to please gamble responsibly. Okay, bet responsibly. Don't blow your load on week 1. Certainly don't blow your load on game 1. Okay, but have some fun. Have some fun. You know, if you're out there, if you're a model fucker and you're just taking whatever's on the chart telling you plus EV, I hope you win money. All right, because that's all you're after. If you bet with your plums and your gut and your vibes, I hope you're right more often than you're wrong. And I hope you get some fucking street cred out there on social media. That's what I hope you get. I saw we already got a couple of PODs. Beeves out there with his POD. By the way, Shady Beeve is back. He's typing like an adult. I appreciate that. He was catering to 12-year-olds for a hot minute there. Interesting choice from a 27, 28-year-old who bought a house and talks about having a kid and about to be a father. I'm glad he snapped out of it. All right. And Mike taking credit for coaching him. Not necessarily, but you know, I'm certainly going to acknowledge a little bit of it, but he's already now capitalizing the first letter of his tweets. That was just a little weird month for him. We'll excuse it. Now he's back. He's on an insane POD run. He's on the Eagles. Shout out to Steak. Steak again is going to be boots on ground. And I believe Steak already said he has a play in this game and he likes the Eagles. He says the Eagles by murder. All right. In GTA. I don't know if I have to say that or if I don't have to say that. But anyways, my point is 2 guys whose brain I respect in the gambling world are already on the Eagles. And so I tweeted this a little bit earlier. And I said, I am starting to wonder if it feels contrarian to bet the Cowboys. But is it? Is it contrarian to bet the Cowboys? Or is it contrarian to lay 8.5 with a favorite in a divisional game? You know, riddle me that. I'm not sure. I can't quite figure it out. Part of me wants the Cowboys to be competitive in this game. They really do. For no real reason. That has nothing to do with Dallas. Has nothing to do with Jerry Jones. It certainly doesn't have anything to do with Brian Schottenheimer. I like CeeDee Lamb. I like George Pickens. I like a couple guys on this Dallas team. I'm kind of up and down on Dakota Prescott. But I wouldn't mind seeing a good competitive dogfight game. I'm an underdog guy. I wouldn't mind the underdog to show some fight, but I like the Eagles. I like the way they built their team. I don't know that I'm the biggest Nick Sirianni guy, but he's okay. He's okay enough, I suppose. But I like the Eagles, man. I love the way they built their roster. I truly do. I mean, they kind of built it from the inside out, getting big in the trenches, drafting really well, not being a team like the Dodgers and just signing free agents and shit. But granted, they made the smart move. They went after Saquon Barkley and it paid off. But most importantly, aside from that, they got competent coordinators. So Kellen Moore is gone after 1 year, and you got Vic Fangio that's still there, defensive coordinator. They got some young corners that are going to have to step up. I believe they lost a couple guys from last year, Darius Slay. The other guy too, who led their team in interceptions. Why am I blanking on the name? CJ, not Gardner. What's his name? I'm blanking on the name. If one of you guys can help me, can we get an upgrade on the TD parlays for the weekend? Greg, 2 days ago we discussed for 5 minutes, and now he goes to me. Yeah, it sounds like a Greg thing to do. I don't see it getting past a 2-score game. Interesting. Yep. CD Deuce. Yeah. What do we call him? Shout out Shady B for a new follow on Pickett. Love that. Oh, thank you. There we go. Steven says CJ Gardner Johnson. That's right. Appreciate you. Yeah. So we do have some new faces on both sides of the ball. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit. We're gonna have Jovan come on and talk some best bets for the weekend. Very much looking forward to it. And again, appreciate all the sub banks, by the way. We're at a hype train level 6. Sounds good. We're doing BTL at noon today. Oh wow. Okay, on a few early. Okay. Okay, sweet. I'll get you in here even earlier. 10-ish maybe. Sorry, just realized BTL, by the way, is going to be going on at noon today per Jovan. Love that. I'm going to get him the link, and he's going to get up here in 10 minutes. Okay, here's what I want to know, guys. I have a thought, all right? And I need you guys to talk to me a little bit. So I want to go to the NFL depth charts, right? I want to go to the NFL depth charts. I want to look at the depth charts here for the Dallas Cowboys. That's what I want to do. And I want to think about something for a second. So I'm pretty sure Dallas Cowboys coaching staff, I'm pretty sure when they hired Brian Schottenheimer, which I still think is an interesting hire. That's right. They hired this guy who's their offensive coordinator, and his name is Clayton Adams. Okay. I looked into this before I made one of my offseason wagers. And I bet Dak Prescott to lead the league in passing yards. I love George Pickens. I love the acquisition of George Pickens. By the way, good morning. I see we got fucking 100 people in Twitch. We got, how's YouTube doing? Who's over in YouTube chat holding it down? 35 in YouTube. Love that. While you're here, best of luck for NFL season, DJ. And Alan Dims, you as well. I love having you in here. Keep us honest. Our year question for 6. Love that. CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, longest reception's over. Hear me out for a second, guys. Seriously, hear me out for a second. If you remember the game script, the little bit I started doing last year, I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to do it for Pickett. All right. So I'm thinking about my game script for this game. By the way, we have a show tonight. We have a pregame show tonight. I'm going to be running with Greg since, again, steak is boots on ground. We're going to be on the Pickett YouTube. Please join us, 7 o'clock pregame show. We're going to go dive all the way in, make a little player prop entry on Underdog. And we do have an Underdog sign-up code if you want to bet. You bet $5, you get $50. It's promo code DGen. All right. Corp. More corp, as the kids say. Corp last few days. Missed Cowboys likewise. Can you finish your thought in the OC? Yes. Game script. Here's what I'm at. Here's what I'm after. So I thought about what I would do if I was the Dallas Cowboys, and I talked about this earlier in the week. And I said, if I'm the Cowboys, okay, you come in this game against your divisional opponent. You're a big underdog. You don't have many expectations. You got seriously nothing to lose. Seriously, you have nothing to lose. Why not go out there and just sling it? Show off your new toy. And I really thought about isolating something George Pickens in the first quarter, because you can do that. You can do that on FanDuel, I believe. Remember the guy who sent me the parlay he made in the Bucs-Falcons game, made $23,000. Unbelievable. Said he'd get me a Guinness. I'm like, brother, how about you get me a fucking Rolex? Just kidding. All love. Guy's been a long time listener. Haven't heard from him since. Hope all is well. But anyways, I thought about, okay, you know what? I'm going to go after George Pickens in the first quarter. Maybe I'll even go after something to go to Prescott in the first quarter. But then I started having a thought. All right. And I want to make sure, listen, I'm telling you, I'm trying not to get cute. I'm trying not to overthink things. I'm trying not to sway my opinion based off on what people are, everybody's on. Okay. Even though when I'm on the square side, it doesn't really work. I can't hit square bets for whatever reason. But if you remember a couple years ago, and shout out Phil Zutley, he's the one who pointed this out. He's like George Pickens, the Allen Robinson of tonight. When the Bills and Rams had their first game of the season, I liked Allen Robinson, and I thought I was being all cheeky, but I liked him as a player, and I was like, oh, I love this acquisition by the Rams. Wide receiver too, blah, 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 blah. Turns out everybody was on him, and the guy had like 8 yards receiving. Okay, I was like, oh, shit. Is George Pickens Allen Robinson 2.0, right? Could be. But I don't care. I love George Pickens. I still like him in his offense. I still like the passing game, and I still like that. But hold on a second. This guy, this offensive coordinator that comes over, Clayton Adams, he's big on running the ball. Brian Schottenheimer, he's also a guy who likes running the ball. He's been coach for 26 years. Clayton Adams has been coaching for 7 years. So then I started to stop and think, and I was like, wait a minute. I'm thinking about what I would do. Yes, I do know that he's not calling the plays, but I do still think he's got something to do with the offensive game plan. I don't think even with like a Zach Taylor calling the plays for the Bengals, but like having an offensive coordinator, Matt LaFleur, I still think the offensive coordinator that's hired has something to do with the thought process that goes in to the game plan. That's what I think. Peep Nug, DGen, what Nug do we got? George Pickens first quarter over 6.5 receiving yards. Yep. Where's the Nug? Can you had a top 5 rushing offense 2 years in a row in Atlanta. Bingo. Yes, but I understand, Special K. I do understand that. Yes, there are head coaches who do call their own plays. The offensive coordinator is not as relevant. However, I still think because he had his choice in year one of who his offensive coordinator was going to be, I still think he had something to do with the lining and the thought process. So hear me out for a second. You also draft a guy like Tyler Booker, a big old offensive guard. I believe he was from Alabama. And now I'm just wondering, Steak, if you're in here, please do the Survivor link so everybody can join. I'm just wondering, do you think I'm over here saying, hey, I want to attack first quarter receiving props and passing props because that's what I would do if I was the Cowboys head coach, but I'm not. I got to think like the coaches would think, not like I would think if I was the head coach. I got to get into these coaches' minds. And now I'm wondering, is Brian Schottenheimer that kind of coach to go in there and throw a haymaker in Philadelphia? Maybe he's not. It's a bad O-line, and these are bad running backs. Sure. Tyler Smith, Tyler Bricker are going to be a physical pair of guards. I imagine the Cowboys will try to run a lot of power and wham type of run plays with those two guys. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Fangio is going to tempt the Cowboys to run the ball. Also kind of what I was thinking. That's kind of what I was thinking. Dare them to run. You get what I'm saying? Really bad running backs. I'm not denying that. I read Warren Sharp's book. Javonte Williams was one of the worst running back, if not the worst running back in the NFL last year. That's how he was graded. Behind one of the best offensive lines. No Zach Martin or Tyler Bidaz and a brand new center. This Cowboys team is so bad. Didn't Zach Martin retire 2 years ago? Tyler Smith, one of the best guards in football. Sure. Plus 10.5 is one of my parlay pieces. I can't tell you that I love that. But I'm starting to talk myself into running the ball. Seriously. I'm starting to talk myself into it. Top 5 guard, probably. So, you get what I'm saying? Right? Do you get what I'm saying? I want to attack. Oops, hold on. I want to attack rushing props early. I do think the game script for this game is actually going to have something to do with running the ball. I think that's how Brian Schottenheimer and Clayton Adams are going to prepare this game plan. That's what I think. And I don't think I'm being stupid. I really don't. I'm not saying the running backs are good. I'm not. I just think that's what the coaches are going to try to do. And if I'm a gambling man, which, newsflash, I am, I'm going to try to take a little swing at it. I don't like the Cowboys in this game. I align with the sharper minds of a Shady Beeve and of a Steak here in thinking that it's the Eagles. I think people are going to get a little duped here, taking the Cowboys. I could be wrong. I have no strong opinion at all. But I'm starting to wonder, and I'm not doing this because it's contrarian. I'm doing this because I think it makes a little bit of sense. I'm just starting to wonder if we're going to see some running of the football early. Now, how do we take advantage of that in the betting market? Right? Well, let's go to rushing props. Javonte Williams rushing line, you can get 40-plus yards for plus 130. He's got to be the premier back, right? Rushing and receiving yards, 50. I don't hate that. What do we think about? Let me go look at the Dallas Cowboys in preseason. Is he healthy? Yeah, that book isn't in most states. Javonte over carries, maybe? Yeah. What are you guys talking about, by the way? Good morning, fat girls. If anyone loves the Eagles, has bet their money line, it's boosted to even money. Oh, geez. Would you suggest first half under? Sure. Yeah. Or first quarter under. Javonte Williams didn't play. They're making him the guy to start the season. He didn't play at all. Interesting. Okay. At all. Oh, wow. They got Phil Maffa. I remember him. Malik Davis, 7 carries, 63 yards. Okay, that's about it. The Cowboys played the Rams. Is that their last game of the season? Played the Ravens. I'm just double checking. Miles Sanders, 7 carries, 15 yards. Yuck. Okay, so they didn't play their starters at all, huh? It does not look like the Cowboys played their starters at all. Nope. Deuce Vaughn played. They cut him. Yeah, they might have cut him. The starters did not play. Yep. Like the Eagles TO. Yep. Come on, Jay Adams over 9.5 receiving yards. Okay. Well, this is what I'm getting at, guys. Now, you don't have to tell it. You can make your own opinion. I don't give a shit. But I'm just letting you know what I like. I think I like the Cowboys to run the football. That's my game script. Spoiler. How am I going to bet it? A million ways to skin a cat nowadays in the betting market with props. Part of me loves it. Part of me hates it. Rushing attempts. Javonte Williams, 10 plus, minus 122. Seriously? 10 carries? Now, they're probably going to split a little bit of time, right? They're probably going to split it up a little bit with Miles Sanders. I'm not really a big Miles Sanders guy. Rushing yards, race to 20. Javonte Williams is plus 215. Saquon, minus 185. That's kind of fun. I'm probably not going to do anything. Oh, okay. Here we go. This is my wager. I got it right here, ladies and gents. Javonte Williams rushing yards over under first quarter, 6.5. Bingo. Barcavius Mingo bingo. No prime time. No prime bets guests to talk Cowboys football. Very funny. If Blue is healthy, he should take number 2. Oh, yeah, sure. Sure. Was his name-o? I love how DGen sets the table. Thank you very much. By the way, where's that guy who always asks if I had eggs? I want you to know something, brother. I had 4 eggs today. That's right. I had 4 eggs. Okay. So whatever kind of trend you've made of me having eggs, I don't know that you've ever caught me on a day with 4 eggs. I was a 2-egg guy, then a 3-egg guy, and now I'm a 4-egg guy because it's fucking football season. And I'm working out harder. And I'm trying to get healthier because I'm in really bad shape. I went on a bender for like the entire first half of 2025. I don't know what happened. It started with going to the Orange Bowl in Miami. It continued in going to the national championship in Atlanta. And I never really snapped out of it. Also, that was right after the holidays. Bad timing. Because when I get around the holidays, you don't want to see me at your Thanksgiving table. I can promise you that. Unless your aunt made some fucking weird custom stuffing, that recipe that she found on Pinterest. If she overthought it and did that bullshit, I'm out. I ain't going to touch it. But if she did stovetop box stuffing, okay, I don't care what kind of chemicals are in it. Don't show me the ingredients. Just serve it. You know what I mean? Anyways, I'm very sleep deprived, though. So I apologize for the appearance, and I'm going to try to push through as best as I can. That's my game script. I'll put a video out later. We'll talk about it, And we'll dig a little bit more with Greg tonight on the Pickett YouTube channel. Here we go. BookitSports. Oh, no, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. Hold on. That's not it. I fucking spelled it wrong. Mods, can we delete a comment? There we go. There we go. YouTube.com, BookitSports. I'm going to pin that. Go to that page. Oh, shit. What am I doing here? Oh, I forgot the @ Mods, can we delete that? YouTube.com. I told you I'm sleep deprived. BookitSports. All right, there we go. Mods, can you delete the first two? YouTube.com. There we go. That works. Go to that page. Subscribe to that page. You'll see us tonight, 7 o'clock. Thank you very much. Elite Crabs comment. What happened? I missed Crabs comment. Bookachu rating with a party of 3. Bookachu, what's up? Good morning. Logan Carlson with a subscription. We got hella subscriptions today. We got a Hype Train level 6. I haven't seen one of those. God knows how long. We will be joined by Jovan. We're going to talk. We're not going to spend too much time on the Eagles game because I don't really know what else I can tell you. I'm not an expert on week 1 NFL. Cowboys and Eagles. I like the Eagles. Steak has a play in this game. I hope he talks about it at some point. He likes the passing yards for Jalen Hurts. Okay. Pickens under yards. Ew. Maybe try bulking up with some Chipotle. That is disgusting. That is disgusting. Yeah. No. Why do I get these weird fucking invites to co-host on TikTok? I don't understand any of it. Should I accept one day? Is that good for the brand? Maybe it's bad for the brand. I don't know. Anyways. Okay. 134 people, more corp. Yep. We do have a couple of first-time chatters in here and a couple of new followers. Make sure if you're in Twitch, follow the page. We appreciate that. If you are on YouTube, I see you guys on YouTube, 40 plus on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube page. Steak is going to be back Friday. We're going to record our best bets video in college football. I'm really looking forward to it. I had some written up on the big board here. We'll talk about it when Jovan comes up and go through the board and talk some of the marquee games, and we'll also talk some NFL. Looking forward to. I didn't tap in much to BTL yesterday. I don't know what these guys are on going into week 1, but I'm looking forward to hearing it and finding out. I'd love to know what you guys are on and what you're leaning into. But tonight specifically, Javonte Williams over 6.5 yards, rushing yards in the first quarter is my game script. I think this new Cowboys regime and coaching staff comes into Philly, and I don't think that they coach a loose, all firing all cylinders, nothing to lose game. I don't think that's Brian Schottenheimer's style. No, I think he's going to play it safe. I think he's going to be a little conservative, and I think he's going to want to show you guys, hey, our running backs are not as bad as you think they are. Our running game is not as non-existent. Does that make sense? As you think it is. It's not all on Dak's shoulders. It's not all on George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, although I do think CeeDee Lamb's probably going to have a big game. I love CeeDee Lamb. I truly do. I took him last year or 2 years ago to lead the league in receiving yards. That didn't hit, but I like him. That's my point. I bet on him. I like him. I like Dak this year. Let's hope we get a good start to the passing yards leader. It's not going to hit. It's not going to hit. It's probably going to be Joe Burrow, square up, chalk up. DJ, what plays are you on tonight? We have hockey in 2 weeks. No, we don't. Do we seriously? 2 weeks? I thought 2 weeks is September 18th. Is that when hockey starts? That's got to be preseason. Javonte first quarter and Will Shipley full game at 12.5 yards. Over there in YouTube, that is on you. I'm not going to get involved with Will Shipley, but I know our guy Cornfields is. Going to the whole offseason and then putting money in Javonte Williams is a wild place to start. Is it? Is it? Is it though? Maybe. It might be. Get it out of the way early. In Florida, so probably Hard Rock. Where did you get 6.5? I'm just looking at DraftKings. And no, it's 6.5 over -120. If this line moves, it's because the whales are watching. Please, whales, I ask of you, can you wait till I get the wager in? And I'm in Florida. I know I'm not going to be able to get this in. I'm going to need the help of Greg. Rushing attempts in the first quarter, 3+. Would you look at that? Kind of like that too. You can alt it. Oh, Javonte Williams rushing receiving yards in the first quarter, 30+. Goodness. Oh, no. That is a big alt. Ooh, 10+. Oh, I like that too. Oh, look at this. Javonte Williams, first carry, over under 3.5 yards. I like the over. I like everything Javonte Williams in the first quarter. That's what I like. Yep. That's what I like. Javonte first quarter rush yards. It's 8.5 on FanDuel. Those crooks. Yeah, it's nasty for sure. Javonte is horrible. I know he's not very good. Okay. I think it's time to shift our focus a little bit here into the weekend. Talked NFL with Mid-Major Matt yesterday. And I think I've changed my mind on a few things. Okay. Most importantly, I think I've changed my mind on my best bet, which was going to be the Raiders plus 2.5. I think he talked me off of it. And I am switching my best bet wager. I'm switching it to the Detroit Lions. I think I am in love with the Lions. And I think I am ready to say, to hell with the Packers. Fuck them. Get ready. Listen, you act like my best bets. Granted, they started 1-5 last year, but do you know what they ended? 12-6. It was a glorious run. Glorious. You act like you don't want to be on the side of a best bet picker. That was 12-6 last year. Shut up. That's what I got to tell you. Shut up. Fucker. I don't know if I'm going to get banned on fucking TikTok. You never know what these sons of bitches. You can't even see the whiteboard. Since the 2020 NFL season, if you take the Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott out of a normal 1 p.m. start time, he's an ugly 4-12 ATS. Wow, no kidding. Brother, you are trash. Stop. LOL. Thank you very much, BC. I played Packers first half. Really? Why? Why did you do that? Are you hedging your emotions? Packers is not a good place to start a fade. Start with your Bucks. Who is this fucking guy? Start with your Bucks. Get fucked. POD for Sunday is Lions. God damn it. Are you serious? I'm gonna have to put my foot down with the swagger jacking. This guy takes the fucking Titans, steals our bitch with Cam Ward, takes the Miami Hurricanes, act like he's not here in stake, talk about Carson Beck all off season. He's on your neck, this motherfucker. Packers fans are very sensitive people. Well, let's be fair. Let's be honest. A lot of sports fans are very sensitive people. What happened to that one guy who got all crazy about the Cleveland Cavaliers when we decided to bet them and they lost to the Pacers and he blamed it on us? What happened to that guy? Forgot that guy's name. JP Del Freya. What happened to him? Yep, the most sensitive fan base in NFL history. Hey, but you know what's cute about Packers fans? They own shares in the team. How do I know? Oh, because if you ever run into a Packers fan, they won't shut up about it. You can buy stock and shares in the Green Bay Packers. Did you know that? Sounds great. Why don't you like the spot? Yep. No, let's be fair. It's the Packers. Packers hands down. He's a mod in Snowman stream, I think. Oh, that's funny. Well, I hope he's okay. Nothing personal. Shareholder here. I bet. Listen, in all seriousness, though, how about this? I'll make a bet with BZ. Okay. Is BZ on? Nah, BZ's not going to be able to do anything. How about this? If the Packers beat the Lions on Monday, I will do the stream in a trash bag. That's what I'll do. Okay. But if the Lions beat the Packers, you have to write me a very nice apology for calling me trash. Okay. You have to say, actually, I get to write it and you have to comment it. You have to comment it every 5 minutes for an hour. Okay. That's the deal. You have to comment the apology for me for calling me trash. Okay. You don't even have to acknowledge the Detroit Lions. You just have to apologize for calling me trash. And if the Packers win, I'll wear a trash bag. Do we have a deal? No. Okay. Already making excuses. You're fucking terrified of the Detroit Lions. Any bets you locked in for CFB? You pissed me off with your Twitter comments to be even talking about the Illinois game. Why? Why are you pissed off about that? Illinois large. Yeah, I locked in Illinois. I'm on them 2 units on the money line. Yeah. BZ is scared. Do you see this motherfucker? Do you see this guy? Look at him. Hold on. Let's do the Packers and the Bucks bet. No, you can't be this confident that your Packers are going to beat the Lions. You are terrified. And listen, no beef. I would be too. I'd be pissing down my leg if I'm going into battle with Jordan Love and fucking who else I don't even know who else you got. Quay Walker. Who else you got? Huh? And your fucking shares against Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions. I would be shitting my pants too. I'd be trying to pivot. Talk a big game. Come on. I will wear a trash bag on stream on Monday if the Packers beat the Lions. If the Lions beat the Packers, you have to comment the apology every 5 minutes. Deal or no deal? Deal or no deal? BZ, you lost your moment. He did. Because you're agreeing with Beeve, not locking in bets in advance. It's literal math. If you lock stuff in early and it moves, you're mathematically more likely to win long term. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, I just like that people bitch about it. You can lock in plays early. That wasn't the whole point of his tweet. His tweet was that if you chirp somebody else for not locking in the bets early, get fucked. You know what I mean? I thought it was a good comment. Good bounce back by Beef. Because I'll tell you what, his share price was bottoming really, really low. Okay. Yeah, I don't know where BZ went. Is BZ in hiding? Should I take your Bucks week 3 in Survivor? Why are you talking about week 3? You should take them in week 1 because they're gonna fuck the Falcons up. All right, I got Jovan in the queue, ready to roll. Jovan, good morning. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. By the way, I see your jerseys in the background. You've got Sorsby and you've got Waddle. I just had a fantasy draft last night, and I took Waddle. It was in an auction. I'm sure people probably don't know about auction, but he went for like $11, which I think is kind of a fair price. You're big on Waddle this season, aren't you?
Pretty big, yeah.
He's pretty big
in the goat well, and just like everybody in the goat well, I tried to draft him everywhere I could.
On that note, do you think so? Thank you for joining, by the way. I really appreciate it. And I just let everybody know that's in here. You guys are going to be going live at noon. You typically go live at 12:30. So we'll what time is it? An hour? I'll just send everybody over there. But feel free to hop off a few minutes early, however much time you got. That'd be great. But I did want to talk some of your best bets going into the weekend. But before we do, not that I want to get your full on preview and breakdown, because you can save it for behind the lines. Are you on anything in this Eagles Cowboys game?
The under.
You can be on the under. Okay.
Yeah. This is like one of the few games, I guess, this weekend where really neither team's had any of the starters play for a majority of the preseason.
Yeah.
I think they're going to come out pretty rusty. Like, I love Dak this season, but I think this is a slower start for him while they figure out they're trying to run more this year, but don't really have the running backs. So, like, we'll see how that works out early against the Eagles. I don't think it's going to be very well. Plus, I don't know if you've seen it, but I feel like I've heard 5,000 people say that everybody's on the Eagles and we're taking the Cowboys, but I've yet to see anybody actually take the Eagles.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. But I understand, like, I'm sure at the end of the day, like, you know, I reference it a lot of what people are on, and it's just Twitter. But I know out there it's a big world. And then sometimes I'll listen to VSiN and you'll listen to sportsbook managers, and it's like, oh, we're getting hammered with teaser money, parlay money, whatever. I'm sure people are on the Eagles.
Of course, yeah. Like, and actual splits, the majority is always going to be on large favorite like this. But
yes,
it's in the terms of Twitter, I guess, more. It's weird.
100%. That's what I wanted to agree with you on, and just make sure that I'm covering my bases here, because we'll get attacked by the Alan Dims of the world. But yeah, I'm really, really surprised. Surprised at how many people are going after the Cowboys in this spot. And I tweeted it earlier this morning, but I feel like betting the Cowboys in some people's minds is contrarian, because you're fading the Super Bowl champs. However, I'm starting to think that that's becoming a trendy thing to do. It's like you don't respect the Super Bowl champ in week 1 just yet. You kind of want to take the dog catching points, and that's a comfortable amount of points. 8.5 is nice.
I was going to say, I was talking with some of my friends earlier, and I was like, I don't think it's that comfortable to lay 8.5 with the Eagles.
It's not. I don't think it is. And you have the divisional dog trend, I think, on your side.
Yeah. That's all the systems fired up on that.
Yeah. No, I'm really shocked at how many people are taking the Cowboys. I've done what I could to try to talk some people off of it. I don't know if Sandy's in here from Owner's Box, but nevertheless, going into week 1, let's start with NFL first, and then we'll transition to a little bit of college to see what you guys are on. My week's been a little crazy. I typically do tune into BTL quite a bit, but I haven't been as much this week. So I don't know. Have you guys done your plays yet of what you like this weekend?
No, we're doing them today. The reason we're starting early is because I think Krabs I forget what he's doing, but he can't do BTL tomorrow. So we're doing college and NFL all in one.
Got it. Okay. So I wanted to just point out a couple of these games and get your thoughts on them. Why don't we just start with our Bucks? So, what's his face? BZ is mentioned them and just brought them top of mind. Bets with Brian with the sub bank. Appreciate you. Walker 23 and Malcolm. That's a fun name. Thanks for the follow. So the Bucks are on the road and they're playing the Falcons. And I believe the last time I checked, this line was 2.5.
Yeah.
Oh, I got some notifications. It's so funny how reactive the market is. It's like if one chart person or syndicate or respected better places a wager, a bunch of people follow. And on one tracking betting app, I saw a bunch of people, one after the other, start punching the Falcons button yesterday. It looks like the money is poured in on Atlanta, and now that line is down to 1.5, which I think is a little interesting, but also at the same time can make sense. I think if you want to take the home dog here against the Bucks, you like a lot of things about the Falcons, or bettors do this year. But Bijan Robinson is a pretty popular offensive player of the year. Bet Drake London, who I'll admit I was wrong on Drake London. I had a bit of a vendetta against him in the draft because I had Garrett Wilson to be the first receiver selected. I wanted him to stink. He's pretty fucking good. He's a problem. He's legit. So I know he's expected to have a pretty big year. We're not going to talk about Kyle Pitts because that guy stinks, but an eye for an eye situation.
He always does.
Yeah, that's true. But the Bucks are going to be missing Tristan Wirfs, stud left tackle. The Falcons are going to be missing their right tackle. I forget the guy's name, but since
Gary
Penix is a lefty, it's essentially the blind spot guy who's pretty important. We know Godwin's not going to be playing. I'm curious, though, what could have happened just recently this week that made people want to jump on the Falcons. I'll go to battle sometimes and bet on the Bucks, and I hate the Falcons. I made a video about them last year when they beat us in overtime and Kirk Cousins threw for 500 yards, and Falcons Twitter roasted me pretty damn good. We always split with the Falcons, but we got swept last year. I'm not high on them this season, though. I'm not a believer in Raheem Morris. I don't think there's stakes on him to win the division, all this bullshit. I'm not buying it. Could I see some regression from the Bucks? Sure. I think it's going to be boom or bust for the Bucks this year. My friend put it really well. He's like, they keep knocking on the door. They're like inching better and better and better. 8 wins, 9 wins, 10 wins. This has to be the year the Bucks either go to the NFC Championship or they don't get the bounces and they only win like 7 games. So in week 1, starting on the road, do you like anything between Tampa and Atlanta?
Yeah, I'm taking the Bucks.
Oh, are you?
I'm not going to go to bat for them much at the beginning of the year with all the injuries, but this game I've kind of told myself for probably a calendar year now or around there that I was going to do it because those 2 games last year, like you said, they usually always split or find a way to get in some crazy games and pull out a win, even when they're rat shit.
Mm-hmm.
But last year was the 500-yard game on primetime, win in OT, and the game right after the Bucks got a billion injuries, and then it was in Tampa. It was like 35-30 or something. Kyle Pitts fumble at the goal line wasn't called. It was a ridiculous game with just almost all the turns and twists of the first game. So after that, yeah, they're getting their lick back.
I absolutely love it. No, somebody said, Fat Girl said, Dejan acting like he wasn't betting it anyway. Listen, so I've already told this to the chat, but it's funny, like people joke about like, oh, you better not have any weddings on football weekends or birthdays, etc. Well, I had the most random thing happen. It's my grandparents' 50-year wedding anniversary. And I just got hit with, hey, we're having a dinner on Sunday. And I was like, gah! So we're doing it at 4:30 so that at least at 1:00 I can watch the Bucks game, but 4:30 is a hell of a slate. So anyways, not going to get into that, but bad beat for me a little bit. However, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I can't get totally shit-faced before I go to this dinner with my family, but I'm probably going to go to the game and watch it. There is a chance, and yes, knowing Jovan's on it too is I like, but there is a chance 5 minutes before kickoff, I might have to put 2 units on the Bucks or their team total or some props. So I retired from betting the Rays. I did see somebody say, are the Rays back? Hopefully. I'm not going to jinx them. But I am watching.
Yeah.
I might hammer the Bucks, and it might just be a fuck you Falcons kind of bet. Get ready to learn Penix party.
Yeah. While you're talking about some of the more popular, I guess, futures, the one that I've seen probably most commonly, especially in our streams, is Michael Penix passing touchdowns, which is incredibly oddly low, I would say.
Yeah, it is. It's like 19.5, isn't it?
Yeah, which is really, really weird to me, especially like when you compare that to the yards.
Yep.
It's like it's not even like they're expecting low yardage from him. I guess he ain't throwing touchdowns.
Yep. Yeah, good point. All right. I'm gonna skip over the Friday game. I'm not like as intrigued about that one, honestly. But there's another game at 1 o'clock. You're gonna think it's hilarious that I'm skipping Chiefs Chargers to talk to you about this game, but I can't stop thinking about the Panthers Jags. I just can't.
It's a
This
weird game.
It's a fucking weird game, but it's like I feel like this game's gonna pass, and I'm gonna be so upset with myself that I didn't take something that's so obvious, which is the over. I just can't see a world in which this game doesn't have points, but I'm going in my head. I always have counter arguments. And I just think, I mean, Canales versus Cohen, two former offensive coordinators for the Bucks going against each other. It is game one for Cohen. I don't have a lot of faith in him as a head coach. Liked him as an offensive coordinator. I think he's got some fun weapons. Trevor Lawrence is an experienced quarterback, not saying he's good or bad, but he's experienced. So it's not like he's a rookie, but he is making his first start in a new scheme and system. But I like some of the pieces on the Jags offense, and I don't like anything on their defense. Same thing applies to the Panthers. I like what I'm seeing from Tet. I like some of their Xavier Leggett. I liked how Bryce Young ended the season last year. I mean, he wasn't putting up 400 yards passing, but he was playing efficient. He was running the ball. He's being a lot smarter. They hung with some of the best teams in the NFL with the Chiefs, the Bucks, and the Eagles. I don't know. The line is a lot of respect, in my opinion, for the Jags. And you're getting the hook with the Panthers. I don't think I can get to a side, but fuck, man, I think I love this over 47. Do you have anything in between these two teams?
I was thinking about it, doing the same exact thing and going with points here. I mean, two fun offensive systems that are going to be pretty fun. I just wonder, especially looking at the 3.5. I mean, in my mind, it would seem a little enticing on the Panthers side, even on the road. Not like the Jags were good on the road really ever or last year, but if it takes a little time maybe with that receiving room to get it together post Thielen. I don't know if Bryce Young going into the season really has like a safety valve option that's not Tet. I feel like he's going to have to take some time to find that.
You don't think Bryce Young has a safety valve option besides Tet?
Yeah, I feel like one of those guys, whether it's Jatavian Sanders, whether it becomes Leggett, whether it becomes any one of those guys that steps up, because like Coker's hurt, and he probably would have been that guy if he was a little healthy. I wonder if it's going to take some time for him to find that.
That's an interesting point. You like Rico Dowdle?
Not really.
I like Rico Dowdle. Okay. All right. Well, fair enough. It doesn't really sound like Panthers team total over, DGen. Yeah, Jags are a top 10 defense when the secondary holds up, says Brandon in YouTube. Really? Man. Tugboat tootin'? What is that?
That Jags secondary is not very good.
I just know Jovan is a Bysol Tootin guy. What is all this Tootin love? I don't even know who the fuck this guy is.
He's the third string for the Jags. So it's ETN/Bigsby and then him. He's came from VT. It would be good. I think people are underestimating, though, how much ETN is going to be used like Rachaad White earlier in the year by Cohen. He's going to get a lot of receptions.
People keep saying I'm horrendously wrong about Josh Hines Allen. Horrendously wrong. Listen, I'm not saying the guy is bad. I'm just saying he doesn't jump off the screen to me when I don't watch a ton of Jags, but I don't consider him to be as good as he was hyped up to be, if that makes sense.
No, definitely not.
Okay.
He's had his moments, though. He's had his moments. He is definitely not a top 10 pass rusher. I would disagree strongly.
I do not think he's a top 10 pass rusher. No. I just don't. You agree with that? Okay, but we'll find out. This will be the year. We'll find out. I'm going to need Josh. I like Josh Allen more when he was Josh Allen. Josh Hines Allen, I'm out. Okay, I got another game for you in the 1 o'clock slate. Miami Dolphins at the Indianapolis Colts. Spoiler alert, this is going to be Steak's best bet. I've been so fucking duped and burned so many different ways and times by Mike McDaniel on the road. Last year, they were my best bet when they went to play Seattle. I think I played the Dolphins one more time at some point in the season, and I'm just so sick of this team. But I will be honest, if there is a time to bet them, I like it. Week 1. I don't care that they're on the road. They're in a dome. They're on turf. Got a lot of preparation against the Colts defense, who I don't really know too much about. I don't know that they're elite by any means. And most importantly, I was looking at this depth chart for the Dolphins. I'm not really in love with it. Like, they have some names, but again, they're kind of like guys that like their name carries more weight than their actual performance does, like Josh Hines Allen. But man, I want to fucking fade Daniel Jones coming out of the gate. It feels like people are coming back in on Daniel Jones.
I don't know why.
I don't know why either. Oh, actually, I take that back. It could be the Steichen effect.
Yeah, I think it's more anti-AR than anything. It's just like I think people just assume everything can be better no matter who you put back there than AR, which
Sure.
I don't know why that's the case, but yeah.
Like anything?
I like the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins, outside of maybe the Saints, are probably the most faded team in the offseason. And I understand why. A majority of it's because what happens when Tua goes down with his 75th concussion, but we're in week 1 where he's healthy and they're playing a defense that Mike McDaniel has shredded his entire career. If you're talking about scheme, a lot of zone, a lot of bad DBs, like he's licking his chops looking at this. So if there's any game for them to come out hot and look like a vintage McDaniel offense, it's probably this one.
You might be onto something. I think I might take the Dolphins in some capacity. I mean, I'm gonna tail stake regardless. I do it every year with our best bets in the newsletter. But okay. I was wondering if you were going to talk me off of that one. By the way, somebody moved the Javonte Williams rushing yards first quarter. Jovan, that was my game script POD tonight. Over 6.5 was minus 120 on DraftKings. It is now minus 124. Whales that are watching, can you guys please stop until the stream's over and I can get my fucking bet in? If you move this to 7.5, I'm going to be pissed. Okay, I'm going to be pissed. Yeah, people are really big on Jonathan Taylor this year, and in this game, it makes complete sense to me.
Yeah.
But the Colts are going to be a team that I'm not going to be on as much as I'm probably against, if that makes sense. I got to know where your head's at on the double narrative game here with the revenge spots for Aaron Rodgers and Justin Fields. Do you like anything in the Steelers Jets?
I mean, there's probably not a game on the slate I would less like to put coin on. But I mean, I like the Steelers. I think if there's any revenge angle I'm going with, I think it's that. I also think the Jets offense, not that this is like reinventing the wheel, but is there a worse offense to go against or worse defense to go against as you're kind of trying to find your footing with a running quarterback in Justin Fields than his former team? That's also one of the most physical defensive units in football. Probably not.
No, good point. 13 straight home opener losses for the Colts scare you or no? Yeah. Well, not as a Dolphins backer. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's enough on that one. I don't know that there's anything else too much in the 1 o'clock slate that I care to dissect a ton off of, but the 4 o'clock slate is pretty nice. Niners and Seahawks. Where do you stand on the Niners this year? I feel like they're a little bit not like super popular in my opinion, but they're a little popular of a team to be that bounce back. They have most of it is in part to having a really soft schedule. It's not because everybody loves Brock Purdy or anything else. I think they kind of have Kyle Shanahan fatigue, and nobody outside of CMC is really exciting. George Kittle's getting a little bit older. I don't know that I love this defense for the Niners, but I do love that they got Salah back. I think he's a good defensive coordinator, and I think that was a great move. But on the road against the Seahawks to open up, I think is an awesome game. Even though I don't love divisional matchups in week 1, I almost prefer like a fucking random, Panthers Jags type of matchup, and then you get into the division games. But I think this game's going to kick ass, and I'm not going to be able to watch it, unfortunately. I'll be stuffing my face with fucking chicken parm. But I was thinking, Mike McDonald last year, they started pretty slow with Geno Smith. They had 2 safeties, I think, both in the first half. I was thinking maybe Niners first half or something. But do you like anything this game or with either of these teams long term?
Yeah, long term, I guess I'm on somewhat opposite sides of the spectrum. I think the Niners were a lot more popular in Corp in June than they are now, but it's kind of cooled down a little bit. I like the Niners in the game, though. I think this is a Seahawks team that I'm probably going to be fading more than not, especially because I think the Kubiak hire is going to take some time to find its footing, and it's really only super advantageous when you have a positive game script when you're running the ball like that, like they're supposed to in the system. Plus, the Darnold fade is something I want to get involved in for a lot of this year, especially with some of his numbers that are on his season-long props. So first game, I want to go after the Niners for sure.
So you make an interesting point about Kubiak. The one thing I would say is, wasn't year 1 for him last year with the Saints, or was that year 2? Because I got to tip my cap. They scored 90 something points in the first 2 weeks.
No, they were absolutely great Now, they also faced a stretch of really poor run defenses to start for the most part, which helped. And then the second they ran into a couple of those and, they got film on them, like they were stopped and bagged. And obviously the quarterback injury stuff didn't help. But I don't know that it's going to help them too much early on with the Seahawks schedule or with their schedule in general. Like, I think the run game is going to be fine and be improved, and hopefully everybody's healthy. But I'm not quite buying in, especially with I don't know, feels like a pretty easy, don't overthink it, Darnold regression season post Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was leaning into early was I don't know that I would have bought high on Sam Darnold after the success he had with Kevin O'Connell and those weapons in Minnesota. But I don't know. I'm starting to kind of come around a little bit to the Seahawks team. I don't know that I'm going to go make any crazy wagers on them to do anything, but I don't mind fading them in week 1. However, I am kind of interested to see what Clint Kubiak is capable of doing with this offense if Kenneth Walker holds up. And if Cooper Kupp, I'm not even saying he has to be Rams Cooper Kupp, but if he's not totally washed, that could open things up for JSN, who I think he's been kind of disappointing since they drafted him for the production.
He was good last year.
Yeah, like for the production we saw at Ohio State, I thought he was going to be awesome. I didn't mind the draft pick at all, but we'll see now without DK how that offense fares. But I would lean into a lower scoring game. And like I said, maybe the Niners first half. Do you think mid-major Matt was on here yesterday and he thinks that the Titans are going to be the survivor buster of week 1? He thinks they're going to be the Patriots to the Cincinnati Bengals last year and beat the Broncos outright. I've been talking about Cam Ward a lot. We haven't really talked too much NFL. I don't know where you stand on the Titans or Cam Ward or the Broncos, who are a really, really popular team this year. Over wins, make the playoffs, win the division even over the Chiefs, I've been hearing a lot of. So curious to hear your thoughts if you have any on those teams.
Very anti-Broncos, and it does seem like they're by far the most popular week 1 survivor pick, which just never goes well no matter what. So I can definitely see it being that. I'll definitely have some coin on Titans plus the points. I'm pro Titans as well, but I want to buy into, I guess, Broncos spots like this probably every single chance I can this year, because I think we saw scheme wise like the Bo Nix ceiling a little bit, which people would be shocked to find out how many passes he threw at or near the line of scrimmage the entirety of the year, because everybody just thinks he's slinging the rock downfield 20 times because they've seen him do it like once or twice a game. But a lot of that comes at the line of scrimmage, and I don't like that backfield either. Everybody loves RJ Harvey. I don't. I've actually watched him play in UCF, and I'm kind of out on a lot. I think the wide receiving room is fine, I guess, but the defense is going to be good. It's a tough defense for a rookie quarterback to go against first start, so that's why I'm like dropping meat on table saying they're going to win the game and bust survivor brackets, but I think they'll definitely make it close and weird.
Did not know this about JSN. 100 catches, 1,100 yard season. My bad, JSN. Put some respect on his name.
He was pretty good last year.
Yeah, might be. Okay. I'm kind of with you on. Well, I'm very much with you. I took Bo Nix to lead the league in interceptions. I do think that.
I remember that.
We're on the same page with that. Yeah, they're going to open it up and probably ask a little bit more of them. I don't know that they're going to get away now that you have that tape on Peyton and Bo Nix with the. I think from what I read, it was like 30% of his throws were at or behind the line of scrimmage. He's going to have to make some more throws downfield. I think the Broncos are still going to be a really tough team. I'm not saying that they're going to all of a sudden, be bad. And like last year was a total fluke. But I would not be buying the Broncos this year personally. And my biggest concern that I have with the Titans is I still just don't know that I'm a Brian Callahan guy yet. I like things about him so far that I've seen, but like just in general, the nepotism thing never really gets me that excited. I know it's worked out here and there, obviously Kyle Shanahan, but it's like I almost want to wait and see before I start getting involved. But I know that it's a tough place to play. I'm not that worried about it with the Titans. I think they're going to come in here now. I feel like they had so much hype last year because they made all those signings with Ridley and Snead. But now it's kind of like all that pressure's off. Nobody really gives a fuck about them. People like Cam Ward, don't get me wrong. But I kind of like them to come in with a chip on their shoulder and something to prove now that the guys have already gotten to Tennessee. They have a year under their belt. And now I think they're going to start taking it serious and try to win some football games and potentially actually win some games. So I do like the Titans. Do I like them week 1? I don't know that I have the stones to do it. All right. I have no idea what to do with the Texans Rams. None.
I'll be honest. I really don't either.
Okay.
It's like so many questions on that game.
Do you like the Texans this season?
A little bit, yeah. I think like there's a play calling change there. I thought the play calling last year was fucking horrendous, and as much as like it was CJ Stroud's sophomore slump, a lot of it was frankly not his fault. So like now that's off of them a little bit. I kind of want to buy in. I'm hugely bought in on Nico Collins having a massive year. He's on every fantasy team and every goat well, but I'm kind of buying in. I don't know if I want to do it immediately though.
More than fair. And how do you feel about my Detroit Lions best bet? I just pivoted. I'm jumping off the Lions. Mid-major Matt tried to talk some sense into me and is like, do you really want your best bet to be Geno Smith outdoors on the road, year one in a new system with a new team, and Pete Carroll as a Vegas Raiders head coach? And I said, okay, maybe not, but I certainly don't mind.
Raiders or Lions? What are you talking?
So I pivoted off of the Raiders. Now I'm going with the Lions. I'm going with the Lions against the Packers in week one. Packers opening -1.5 favorite seems like a lot of respect against the Lions, but I think people are down on the Lions because there's no Ben Johnson and there's no Aaron Glenn. So we know how important coordinators are, and I understand that. But I still think the Lions are a well-oiled machine, and I think they come into Green Bay and they play a different type of football game, and they take it very, very seriously, no matter if their season is on the line or not. I like Dan Campbell over Matt LaFleur, and I like Jared Goff over Jordan Love. I think they got too many dogs on this team. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm pretty high on the Packers. Like, I like them in this week one, but I don't want it to be mistaken for Lions hate. So I'm not as down on them as I think everybody seems to be. I feel like the first couple of weeks, I think it's week 3 or 4, they play the Ravens in Baltimore, if I could be mistaken. I think they sputter a little bit up until that point, and then they probably start to regroup and hit a stride. But
the Packers do, or the Lions?
The Lions.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah. So I like the Packers week one.
Okay. We are clashing, which is more than fair. All right. Last NFL game that I want to get your thoughts on the college football slate. The Minnesota Vikings and Chicago Bears. I'm not a JJ McCarthy guy, but I am a Vikings guy. I'm going to fade the Vikings. I'm going to take them not to make the playoffs for 2 units. It's one of my best bets. Can't tell you I'm in on the Bears right away in year one with Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams, but there's no excuse for them not to be good. We got a line flip in this one. I believe the Bears were 2.5 point favorites. And now it looks like, or maybe it was just 1.5. I'm sorry. But now it looks like the Vikings are the favorite. So dog to fave with the Vikings on the road, divisional game. A lot of respect there. I can't decide if I want to double down on fading the Vikings and do it again in week one, right out of the gate. I'm just nervous that I'm going to see some stupid plays from Caleb and some good defense from the Vikings. And maybe McCarthy just plays really conservative. He doesn't have to do too much. And maybe he doesn't make any mistakes. And it's just a cleaner game for Minnesota, and they eke this one out. Are you going to get involved?
I'm not a JJ guy at all, but I can't ignore the fading Caleb Williams and the Bears part of it. It's like I kind of want to take the Vikings. Does this seem like too easy of a first half under? So I know it's I guess the not easy part of it is the fact that it's the Ben Johnson offense that everybody loves, but it's JJ McCarthy against a pretty tough Bears defense in his first real game action, and then a Brian Flores scheme against a very new offense for Caleb Williams.
I do think that it's I'm not going to call it easy, but I do think it's going to be a popular under. However, I will compare it to the popular first half unders of the Texas Ohio State game. And that shit hit with ease. You know what I mean? Even the Miami Notre Dame game, I think that first half under may have came in as well. I got no beef with it. I got no beef with the play at all. All right, so week one NFL, and I know you're going to talk behind the lines. Are going to start at noon, and we'll send everybody over there as soon as we're done. But what would you say your favorite bet or your favorite couple of bets are in the NFL?
It's definitely headlined by the Bucs.
Okay.
Which is probably the only time I'm going to get to say that for 4 or 5 weeks, maybe longer. So doing that knowingly, and then probably the Ravens on Sunday night.
Oh, I didn't even ask you about that game. You're going to fade Buffalo in week one?
Yeah, I'm going to be fading them a decent bit this year.
Really?
Get back from the playoff week one for the Ravens.
Wow. Okay, but are you pro Ravens as well, or just mostly fading Buffalo in this spot?
More has to do with the Bills than the Ravens. I guess this game has to do with the Ravens specifically getting revenge from the playoffs, but season long, is more. I want to find my spots to fade the Bills.
What do you not like about Buffalo?
I mean, last year, the reason I love them so much is because I thought Buffalo and Josh Allen specifically was going to play super conservative with that wide receiving core. And that's why they won the turnover battle pretty much every single game they played. They had like a huge turnover margin, which is unsustainable for going into the next year. So like now I figure Josh Allen is probably going to take some more shots and turn the ball over a little more now that, I don't know, you just had James Cook, who was incredibly efficient touchdown wise. Josh Allen had a bunch himself. You're going to need to throw the ball in the end zone a little more. So I think the offense takes a step back.
Okay. More than fair. I liked what I got out of Buffalo last year. Mid-major kind of talked me into their win total. I liked James Cook. Everything kind of worked out well. I'm not going to go back to him, but man, I don't know. Buffalo is just there's just something about that team that scares me. I mean, I think didn't their like top 2 or 3 defenders, they always get hit with injuries every year. Always get hit with injuries. And it's kind of like the Niners. I feel like if they're on the right side of the injury bug, that's a team that I just don't want my money against. But I am also sick and tired of being like, it's the Bills' year. It's the Bills' year.
Yeah. It's also the reason I want to pick the Ravens too is because I think directly after this game, I don't have the schedule in front of me, but they have a pretty soft schedule for like the next more than a handful of weeks after that. So like if there's any time to fade the Bills to get something in early in the season, it's probably right now.
Okay. All right. I'll take it. I'll respect that. I don't think I'm going to get involved with that game. To me, that's the perfect game to just sit back and watch. I don't feel the need to get involved. But I'm going to go with, not that anybody really gives a shit, but I'm going to go with, as of right now, my favorite plays, NFL week 1. What is Krabs? Where's Krabs at with the Commanders this year?
He says they're going to be great, of course, and win the division.
Okay, maybe that was a stupid question.
I don't really know. I don't know if there's like a sticking point, but I know he does not quite like them this week.
You know, I didn't like them at first this week, but now I'm getting really fucking tempted to buy low on them if they're all the way down to 4.5 or 5 at some places.
They really? Jeez.
Really, as in I want to buy them, or really as in they got that low?
I said, are they really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I mean, unless this is lying to me right now. Hold on, I've been wrong before. Let me check this other line. No, okay, I'm getting duped again. I don't know why Hard Rock does that sometimes when I look at Pickett. 5.5 on FanDuel, down from 7.5. I just have a tough time with the Giants, especially riding high off this fucking preseason. They had like the most fun I've ever seen a team have with their quarterback room. You got Jameis eating W's, you got Tommy DeVito having all this fun out there. You got Jackson Dart looking great, going 18 of 20, dotting the fucking Jets up. I don't know. I think they're going to come out. I think they're going to get punched in the mouth by the Commanders, especially with Russell Wilson starting. I'm just not a Russell Wilson guy, but I do understand the concerns for the Commanders coming into this year. They have a much harder schedule. I don't know what I would think if I was a Commanders fan and they didn't sign Terry McLaurin. Like, that guy is so important to their offense, but I'm in on Debo. I don't care. People keep saying, oh, Debo's fat, he's out of shape, he's washed, he's done. I can't underestimate the amount of dog that's in Debo. I don't think Debo is going to Washington and he's just going to fucking putz around. I think he's going to show up, and he's in Cliff Kingsbury's offense. They went out, they got the guy for a reason, in my opinion. So I don't know. Also, last question, and then I do want to get into college. They traded Brian Robinson Jr. Who is this running back that they're in love with?
I mean, it's a guy from, I could even start at New Mexico. Just like jumping the gun. I don't know. I think he's third in line. It's between
what's his name?
Corey Krosky Merritt.
Who is this guy? Is he just flashy? He's fast in preseason and now everybody loves him?
Pretty much. You know, beat reporters are saying they're in love with him. Like, I'm sure. I doubt it. It's going to be at the level that a lot of people are drafting him in their fantasy leagues at, especially with Eckler and Chris Rodriguez ahead of him. But find out.
Okay. All right. So you're not buying in on this guy's hype, which
not quite.
Okay. I'm not
Unless
either.
He gets hurt.
Yeah. Weird trade and timing. Yeah, I totally agree. What does that say? Sorsby jersey in rails. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I like Sorsby, not as much as you do, but I mean, I liked him from last year, even though they fucking hooked their win total, but that was That was a rough showing against Nebraska, but I'm not sold on
Pretty bad.
Nebraska. Okay, it's 11:33. Let's run 20 minutes of college football if you don't mind. Week 1 for me was up and down. Didn't really have anything to feel too good about in terms of my plays, although I did end it nicely with your frogs. Shout out Boots on Ground, seeing the Josh Hoover masterclass, or I guess you could say the Bill Belichick disaster class. But Friday, there's a couple games. I don't have to talk too much about them. There's only 2 with lines worth of shit, but I don't know if you are or not a Maryland guy. I feel like you might be.
Yeah, I'm on their win total.
Okay, that's right. They had a good start. I think they beat
Great
FAU handedly. Now they got Northern Illinois. They're 16.5. I thought to myself, I think I wrote it on the board, or maybe it didn't make the board. Not that I'm out here looking to fade Maryland for any reason, but it's kind of one of those situations where like they were big favorites and they covered. Now they're going against Northern Illinois, who looked terrible, I believe, in week 1. Didn't they lose outright to somebody? Or am I making that up? Northern Illinois.
I don't know if they lost, but they played close. Played close with Holy Cross. They won by 2.
That's what it was. Yeah. I kind of wanted to buy in on Northern Illinois here. So I don't know what that line is, whether it's 16.5, 17. You got any thoughts on Maryland this week?
Yeah. So I've seen a lot of Northern Illinois, which I don't quite disagree. I'll say the thing that works in your favor is the fact that Maryland, even though they won by 32 points, like with their freshman quarterback, Malik Washington, he threw the ball 43 times. So I can only assume that going into this game, they're probably going to run the ball a little more. So even if they dominate, it might look a little less dominant. It's like I can respect the play.
Total is 48.5 down to 46.5. Not 48.5 seemed like a little bit of a high opener, but I think Maryland's supposed to have a pretty fun offense this year. So maybe we'll see a little higher totals, especially with them burning. I don't think the game against FAU went over. It was on pace to, and then it just kind of stalled, right?
Yeah, I mean, FAU just didn't score.
Yeah, that's right. They ended with a touchdown.
Baffling to me.
I got to get your thoughts on Louisville. So I'm in on Louisville this season. Over 8.5 wins, and it was a nice start against the nobody. I think they had like 40 points at halftime, ended with like somewhere in the 50s. But they're playing James Madison. They opened 15. They're down to 13.5. I kind of compared this to being a little short, like obviously short, like Army and Tarleton State. And I was like, holy shit, I expected that line to be a little bit bigger. And Tarleton State wins outright. I didn't take advantage of it. I think you guys did, or Krabs did. Props to having the balls to make that wager. But I'm concerned now. But it seems like money likes James Madison. So maybe I'm disrespecting James Madison. And the chat told me I think they had a really good year last year, 11-1 or 10-2 or something like that. Good. So I was just curious. You kind of know Louisville fairly well. I feel like you've been on or off of them maybe in the last year or two. But do you like anything in this game, or do you think the line is short?
I don't love anything in this game. I don't know if it's too short, but I'm pretty in on Louisville like as a whole. I think I'm in on the Miller Moss scapegoat thing. Best quarterback they've really had there for a while. He's been able to do it with much shittier quarterbacks, as we found out the last couple of years, and last year with Tyler Shuck, and now you have one that can actually sling it. I'll say I always get concerned when taking a big dog week 2 or week 3 against a team that I watched a bit of their game, and I could very well tell that they were not going very deep into the playbook. It was very vanilla. It's like for a big regional game like this, it definitely makes sense for them to hide some things, and they're probably going to whip it out, which is not great, I guess, if I want to bet JMU. Also, great point for Dawes. I meant to bring this up, but I kind of got bit in the ass by this last week because I was squaring up, I guess, and taking a dog that in Southern Miss just because I wanted to kind of ride the story. I thought they'd come out with some juice against Miss State, who got the shit blown off of them by Toledo in non-conference last year. And now, like, I'm pretty sure everybody remembers Northern Illinois beating Notre Dame. Now you get a juicy line, somewhat standalone game Friday night against the Maryland team nobody really believes in. That's what scares the shit out of me about Northern Illinois.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right. I probably won't force anything there. On Saturday, there's a couple games that I am very, very interested in either getting involved with or just kind of curious to. I feel like sometimes we kind of see different things. You're pretty tapped into like the Twitter PODs and the Discord plays and everything like that. So I'm wondering here with a noon rivalry of Iowa State and Iowa. Iowa State is a team that, coming into the year, I don't really think anybody expected them to do much, which was interesting because you got me on their win total over last year, which I think was a pretty easy cash. This year, I think they were 10-11 win team last season. Does that sound right? 10-2, 9-3. What were they last year? Do you
Yeah, I
remember?
think it was 10.
And this year they had a 7.5 win total. Lost a lot. I think they lost both their wide receivers, if I'm not mistaken. Is that who the Texans drafted? Both
Yeah,
Iowa
Higgins
State
and
wide
Noel.
receivers. But I love Rocco Becht. That was the first time I watched him last year. I love this guy. He's off to a pretty good start. It was an ugly game in Ireland. They come back home. I played Iowa State. It was one of the few wins that I had last week, and it was a no sweat winner, we always love those. Now they host Iowa, and Iowa's a team where everybody's dying for them to have this quarterback, this guy, and for him to be the guy, Gronowski. I keep saying this, but I watched the spring game, and it's not that I don't think the guy's a good player. I just don't know if he's ready for that stage in that big school. And it was very similar when I was about to go all in on Wisconsin with Luke Fickell and Phil Longo. And I watched Tanner Mordecai, the spring game in Wisconsin, and he threw 4 interceptions in the first half. And I know it's just a spring game, but you could just see his confidence was not there. He looked lost, deer in the headlights. Kind of felt like I saw that with Gronowski. He comes out, he has 40 passing yards against Albany. I know Iowa won the game, and you can make the argument that Iowa doesn't want to show anything against a nobody before they play their a big rival like this. I understand that, but I still don't know that I like the spot for Iowa. I don't know if it's square. I truly don't. I'm seeing the line went from 2.5 to 3.5. Now they're giving you the hook with Iowa. I also noticed the total is 42.5. It's down to 41.5. I think that's kind of a high total with a team like Iowa. Even if Iowa State is scoring 50 points with Rocco Becht, I still think that's a little high. I kind of like points, and it makes me like Iowa State. Square don't care. And I'm just wondering, am I getting duped here? Is Iowa the contrarian player? Do you have
I don't
any
think
thoughts?
it's as square as you think. I think people might want to look at Iowa as the contrarian play, and I kind of like Iowa. I don't know if it's enough to push the button, but the road team dominates this series. I don't know how many years in a row it's been off the top of my head, but it's been quite a while. And it's also like this game always seems to be whatever you think is going to happen or whatever should happen with the way these teams look going into this game. The opposite kind of always happens. So like Iowa would be the play that makes sense with that, which is would worry me for Iowa State. But I don't know. This game, I don't think Gronowski's the guy at all. And Rocco Becht and Iowa State have looked good for 2 weeks now, which is the slightest bit of what concerns me about taking them in this huge rivalry game.
You just said it very well. The opposite tends to happen. You're right.
I mean, it's every year. It's to the point where like it's crazy. It's like at some point it has to go the other way, but it never seems to do.
Who won this game last year in Iowa?
Iowa State. It was 2019. It's like a 1-point game. Like the road teams won. I think it's got to be 5+ years in a row.
They had a drive at the end of the game. I think they put together.
Yes,
Iowa State
I think it was a game-winning field goal.
Game-winning field goal. That's right. Yep, that's right. And in that game, I think Iowa was expected to win. So yeah, okay, all right, fair enough. That's probably enough of a reason for me to stay out of it. You're a Big 12 guy. Do you think Baylor is better than what they put out in week 1 and getting their ass kicked against Auburn? I was talking about this, and Steak likes Baylor a lot, and I still like what we saw from their offense. Robertson had a great game, 400+ passing yards, but they couldn't stop a lick on defense with Jackson Arnold. He got whatever he wanted, 9 yards per carry. So now they're playing another mobile running back in Kevin Jennings in SMU on the road in SMU. SMU is -2.5. Just curious, but week 1's all about not overreacting, trying not to overreact. If you want to buy low on teams after getting their ass kicked or sell high on teams after they just had a really good performance, could Baylor be a candidate here in buying them on the road against SMU?
Yeah, I think so. And I think the biggest part is they couldn't, not only like were they getting pushed around on the offensive line, but they couldn't run the ball, which also means they couldn't keep their defense that was getting shredded. A lot of it by Jackson Arnold's legs. He didn't do shit with his arm for the most part, but with his legs, like they couldn't keep the defense off the field. Now you get a slight, I know SMU's run front is good. It's not great. I think Bryson Washington's going to have a huge game, who's their running back, who's banged up a little bit against Auburn, but he really didn't do much. So I think they're going to control the game a lot more than they did against Auburn. So yeah, I think they're a lot better than what they showed. And I always kind of thought they were going to go 1-1 in these 2 games between Auburn and SMU. I wasn't sure which one was which, but now that they've dropped the first one, I'm going to surely take them game 2.
Okay. Kind of had a feeling you'd be on that side, and it's a side I'd probably want to be on as well if I'm making a play in that game. All right, here's one. I'm in on Illinois in this game. I know Illinois is super hyped. There's teams where the hype teams come through. And I've got no issue if people want to buy in on Illinois. I like Luke Altmaier. I like Brett Belima. I could not get there with them. I On the flip side, I faded Duke, and it's not because I don't like the type of team Duke puts out there, and it's not because I don't like Manny Diaz. I just can't buy into Tulane's quarterback getting paid $4 million a year to come to a school like Duke and perform really well. Now, is he going to put up numbers? Sure. Is that going to translate to wins? That's what I'm betting against. This is a game right here that I mean, this is what I'm betting on, or against rather. Duke not winning these games. And even though I'm already invested in Duke's under win total, I'm going to double down. I'm on Illinois to win this game. And I get it. I totally get it. Everybody I already see tweets. Everybody says this line looks short. This
Dude,
looks like a trap.
I've seen the same thing. I don't think it looks short at all.
I didn't
Now, like
necessarily either.
yeah, I don't really understand that. Like, what do you expect them to be?
Well, I think what people are doing is either underestimating or undervaluing Duke, or they overvalued Illinois a little bit. Like they're
Yeah,
like, oh, Illinois is supposed to be, I don't know, a top 10, 15 team, and they should be over a touchdown on the road. No, also Duke's not an easy place to play. Like I remember it like it was yesterday. Notre Dame almost fucking lost. And this is a Notre Dame team that fucking was good.
yeah.
Good Notre Dame team almost lost to. So all I'm saying is this. That this is my, I'll call it what do you fake sharp, but I always tell people it's not that it's sharp, it's just that it's contrarian. I feel like, a version of me would be like, oh, I'm going to take Duke with the points here and fade the hyped team, take a little school like Duke. But no, I don't think so. I think this is UNC TCU all over again. I think Illinois beats them up. So I'm on Illinois. I'm just curious what you think.
No, I agree. I think this is probably between this and Mississippi State, probably the fake sharp plays that I don't really care to get involved in, which is odd because like I'm very anti Illinois and anti Arizona State this year, but I don't think these are the games for either of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said. Um, do you, and not that I'm going to really, I care too much to talk about this game, but do you have any long-term opinion on Arch Manning and Texas after what you saw in week one?
Not too much. He's just got to show it to me. Like he made some NFL level throws, but he also fucked up some very basic ones. And
Yeah.
like their schedule's pretty soft until they go to the swamp for the next couple weeks, and people are going to buy back in and say the Ohio State game is a fluke. I think it's probably somewhere in the middle. The biggest issue with me is like I don't know if he's hurt. I know people brought that up or whatever, but the biggest like difference they're talking about, other than his legs, between him and Quinn is the fact that he throws the ball with so much more zip. Like Quinn had nothing on the ball, and Arch didn't have shit on the ball against Ohio State. So I'm really concerned about that. If that's either an injury or just they were lying to us the entire 3 years now.
That's what I kept seeing in the comments. I'm always digging in the comment section. You find some truth in there, you find some crazy fucking takes in there. But yeah, people are like, it's clearly obvious they're not telling us about this injury. And it does look like a very bizarre throwing motion. I mean,
Yeah.
it's very sideways, and it's like he's just like throwing his whole body into it. It doesn't look like a crisp, natural quarterback throw, which is really odd. Okay. A couple marquee games late, and then I'll let you shut it down before you fire up BTL, and I'll rate and send everybody over there. Again, thank you for the time. Always appreciate it. Michigan's playing in Oklahoma. I don't know how you feel about this, but I do think a couple years ago we aligned on Oklahoma when Dylan Gabriel was there. I don't know what you ended up doing with Oklahoma last year, and I can't remember if I don't think I faded them, but I'm not sold on Brett Venables as a head coach, and I am in on Michigan this year. I really liked what I saw from them to end the season in that defense and their defensive coordinator, and they're returning, I believe, 5 or 6 starters. I'm not even buying in on the hype of Bryce Underwood, but he looked good in week one, and the defense didn't look that great. New Mexico scored 17 or something, a little bit more than I would like them to. Going on the road against Oklahoma, I've seen a 2-point move. I saw them open as low as 2.5, but then some people are telling me no, they opened 4. Well, they're 5.5 now. I'd have to imagine a lot of people are probably betting on Oklahoma because one of the better defenders for Michigan is suspended for the first half of this game for what I thought was a pretty weak targeting call. Also on the flip side, and this is where I'm curious to hear your opinion because I don't know much about the kid, but people like what they saw from John Mateer apparently in game one.
I don't know why.
I don't know why either.
He really didn't look that good.
I was shocked. I mean, when I checked that score, it was a slow start for Oklahoma. I think it was like 7-0 at some point late in the first, early in the second, but they pulled away and they did job. But I don't trust Oklahoma in this spot. At the same time, I'll tell you this. It's a lot of fucking points. And it seems like a lot of respect. If I were to make the line, I'd probably have it closer to a field goal, even with the guy being suspended for one half of a game. I don't know. I'm a little nervous as a Michigan backer and an Oklahoma fader here. So I'm just wondering if you have any thoughts.
Yeah, kind of like Oklahoma, but it's more to the tune of, I mean, similar with Arch. I made a vow this entire start of the season that if there's any freshman or new quarterback starting in a very difficult road environment, especially on the other side of a defense that I think is going to give them problems, I'm going to fade them some way, somehow. And I don't know if it's with Oklahoma or the first half under. It might be both. But, I mean, just like Arch struggled a bunch. You can name a couple different ones off the top of the head. Ty Simpson, I guess, same thing. Tough road environment, tough defense. I think Venables, as bad of a head coach as he might be, he can damn sure dial up some pressure for some new quarterbacks to make life tough. So I think there's going to be a lot of running the ball early. Probably pretty slow, but that line move is still pretty aggressive, I would say.
Yeah.
I'm shocked to see that.
Like the under, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First half under, I'll probably go.
Cool. I like that. One of my best bets last year was, I believe it was Tennessee, Oklahoma. I like that under. Didn't really trust Nico in that environment. Do respect Venables as a defensive guy, not a head coach, but a coordinator. So I kind of like that angle. And honestly, I don't know why I didn't even really think about it. All right, last game I want to get your thoughts on, and then we can get you out of here. And I'll like I said, I'll send everybody over to Behind the Lines. Oh fuck, where did it go? Oh, Arizona State and Mississippi State. That's the last game I really wanted to talk about. And then I want to see if obviously you have any best bets into the weekend. I don't know if you do or don't, but Arizona State's on the road at Mississippi State laying a touchdown or 6.5, depending on where you look. I'm a little bit nervous that Mississippi State might be a trendy dog, but Mississippi State is a team nobody likes coming into the season, and Arizona State is a team everybody likes coming into the season. So I'm thinking to myself, why would I think that? Why would I think anybody is taking Mississippi State catching the points if everybody loved Arizona State just fucking week 2? And nobody likes Mississippi State. So I'm kind of in my head on this one, but man, I want to think that the Bulldogs can bite. I kind of want to take the points in the money line, but I also have a feeling that I'm going to look up and I'm going to see Arizona State just fucking cruising, and it's like 28-7 at some point.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, why did I do that?
Yeah. I mean, I'm an Arizona State win total underbacker. So like I kind of circled this out to be a game that is not as much a gimme as people seem to talk about when they're talking about the schedule, but I don't know that this is a spot. Like Miss State just tore apart like Southern Miss, who was a cool story. You know, they redeemed themselves from non-con last year, but at the same time, like this, I don't think it goes without saying the fact that this is still a Big 12 team, granted it's a playoff team, going into an SEC road environment, and you're getting 6.5 points to do so. I think that's another one of those where it feels a lot more comfortable than it actually is if you're taking, I don't know, either of those sides. So I don't think this is the spot for him, to be honest with you. I also don't think Miss State is all that good, and I don't like Blake Shapen either.
I don't love him either. I know he played pretty well, and they pulled out that cover. Oops.
He really, like he did in the second half somewhat, but they were just really overpowering Southern Miss on the D line or on the O line for end of the 2 quarters. Like it was like 14-10 at halftime. So like they scored the first 30 seconds of the game, or like 30, not literally, but like 2 minutes of the game, and didn't really do much until early third quarter.
Good point. Very good point. Best bet in college football?
The ones we talked about,
or just anything in general.
Well, I'll talk about this and give full sell job on this because I got to run. But
yeah.
The San Diego State over late nights. We'll talk about that on BTL.
Okay, San Diego State over.
Pretty weird sell job, weird game.
All right, looking forward to it. Jovan, thank you for the time. I really appreciate it going through the board with you, getting your thoughts at Jovan_Deeb. I'll send you over to BTL. You're starting up here in about 10 minutes. It looks like you guys are live already too. So
yeah, Trent's doing shit.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, thank you very much. Right. Good luck this weekend and the rest of the season.
Yeah, appreciate it. You too.
All right, see ya. All right, guys. Yep, W's. Thank you to Jovan as always. We really appreciate that. And again, just want to remind everybody we're having a show tonight on BookitSports. First time chatter. What's up, Waka? Thanks for the follows, by the way. TM Sharp, Brian C, Austin Arendas, Malcolm Betts with Brian with a sub bang. We really appreciate you guys. YouTube.com at BookitSports. Okay. Will you ride Javonte first TD with me? I mean, maybe. I just pinned it. If you're in the Twitch chat, go and click that link. Go to the page for Pickett, subscribe, and follow us or tune in tonight, 7 p.m. Myself and Greg, we're going to really dig into the prop market in this game. You know my game script because you were in here tuning in. I like Javonte Williams over first quarter rushing yards, 6.5. The line has already moved, -120 to -124. Shout out to the whales that are watching. Appreciate you guys. I hope we cash. Good luck on your bets. Remember, bet responsibly. All right. Gambling is it's a drug and needs to be used in moderation. Okay. Moderation. Thanks everybody on TikTok for following or tuning in. Make sure you follow the page. All right. We'll see you guys later. Everybody have a great night. I'm going to send you over. Oops. Who the fuck is that? Oh, it's Chelly. It's putting out a parlay. Hilarious. Go Birds. Cardi Floody. What's good? What's good? All right. We're going to raid Bookit Sports. Bang. Join the raid. Send you over to Book It. Jovan and Krabs are going to go live and talk, I would imagine, the football slates. Make sure you let Krabs know that I do indeed have a stack of Chipotle napkins, as he had mentioned from his beloved Chipotle. He said, take the napkins. I didn't take any forks. That'll be next time. Have a great day, guys. Good luck on your wagers. I'll see you tomorrow morning and tonight. See you tonight.